With Brothers of Legend, Konami continues its long quest to make every single monster Yugi's ever used into its own archetype. A quest which has varying levels of success. With Kuriboh, they've been getting a lot of cards over the years, but none that really attempted to make it into its own cohesive deck. Until now. Referencing perhaps one of the weirdest iterations of Yugi's deck, this new set gives us the Kuriboh Brothers. One for each vowel. As for what they actually did in the anime, well, don't ask me, I don't think anybody actually knows. They became this big thing, I guess? Look, Atem was going through a dark phase, don't be too hard on him. Anyway, now that the Kuriboh Brothers are real cards, they must all have pretty cool, unique effects, right? Well, I'm going to be honest, I don't actually know what they do in the game either. Besides Kuriboh, who contribute all 4 of them to become a Kuribabylon, they're mostly just battle phase focused effects that you never really want to use. You're running these 4 new colourful bricks for one reason and one reason only, and that's 5 Star Twilight. This new card is the big payoff for the deck. At the cost of tributing a level 5 monster, you get to summon one of each Kuriboh straight from the deck. While they probably expect you to use Kuribabylon, the level 5 Kuriboh that they released with this set, you can just use any level 5 monster, including ones that are actually easy to summon. For doing this, you're rewarded with 5 entire materials, and they're all effect monsters with different names, so you can make some pretty neat things out of them. So since you're trying to make Kuribohs work as an entire deck, you might as well throw in all of the usable support. Flute of Summoning Kuriboh summons one straight from the deck, and then Multiplication fills your entire field with tokens for even more Link shenanigans. However, I need to be honest with you. I'd be lying if I said this deck was going to be a hyper-consistent meta threat. You're basically fishing for one of 2 possible 2-card combos, and everything else in your deck is there to try and make them possible. Despite my best attempts, it's not going to work every time. But when it does work, well, you get to say that you just beat someone with Kuribohs. And that is priceless. So here's what a Kuriboh deck looks like. While I said that beating people with Kuribohs is priceless, sadly the deck itself is rather pricey. Prosperity, Dragoon, and other extra deck staples are basically a must. I'd recommend mostly messing around with this deck online, unless you've really just been waiting for a Kuriboh deck your entire life and can't wait to take it to locals. If so, well, I wish you the best of luck. So like I said, you basically want to get a level 5 and 5 Star Twilight, or if you can't do that, get a Kuriboh and multiply. In order to do this, you need to run 2 of each of the new Kuribohs, but 3 of the original since it's a little bit more useful than the others. You then also run 1 Kuribabylon, since you can use it as part of your main combo to end with an extra card in your hand, giving you an ideal discard for Dragoon even if you've had to banish your entire hand. Then we run 3 Kuribohs, since as far as Kuriboh Support goes, it's one of the better ones, potentially summoning back all 5 Kuriboh Brothers from your graveyard. After that are our easy to summon level 5s, which are Redhead, Hasty Horse, and Link Slayer. You need to control no other monsters to use 5 Star Twilight anyway, so the downsides really don't matter much. Just don't use your spell card underneath the horse. For the spells and traps, that's where we have our 3 5 Star Twilights. You really need to get to this, so prioritise getting to this with the consistency cards we'll be getting to soon. Then Flute of Summoning Kuriboh and Multiply make up your other 2-card combo, but since you never really normal summon in this deck, you can also normal summon your basic Kuriboh and then use Multiply on it. Next we have 3 Prosperity, 3 Left Arm Offering, and 1 Upstart Goblin. Start with Prosperity to get whatever you're missing, or if that fails but you do have a level 5 on the field, just get rid of your entire hand to search a 5 Star Twilight. It's kinda painful to have to do this, and it's one of the reasons you need to run 2 of each Kuriboh Brother, but otherwise you either need to start with it or get one from Prosperity, which just isn't likely enough without this card. And then finally we have everyone's favourite trio of bricks. You're mostly making Link, so Verti makes sense in this deck, and you'll always have a card to discard for it thanks to Kuribabylon. You could try Phoenix Enforcer instead if you wanted to, but I feel like that card works better in decks that don't actually need to rely on it too much. So for the extra deck, this is where you can go wild. Any generic links will do, but these are the ones that are found most likely to be useful. First up is Link Spider and Link Kuriboh, the usual suspects for turning tokens into effect monsters. Then Verti and Masquerena are a couple of Link 2s that get you a Dragoon, and then can be turned into something like an Avramax, a unicorn, or anything else you want really during your opponent's turn. DK Talker helps you link climb a bit, or just gives you a bit more protection. Then you just have a slew of boss monsters that you can try to go into. Appaloosa is the obvious one, with Avramax as your hard to out boss monster to back it up. Griffin can be an OK floodgate to turn spare monsters into, and then Underworld Goddess can be another good IP Masquerena target, linking away an opponent's monster before negating everything else. Since the Kuribes are all level 1, you might as well also play around with some Xyz monsters. Ensemble Robin can be an alternative boss monster to go into when going first, especially if you can pull off both 5 Star Twilight and Multiply. Going second, if your opponent has only monster negates, you might be able to pull off making an assembled Nightingale with 5 materials and attack 5 times. After all, both Linkslayer and Hasty Horse don't need to activate an effect in order to special summon themselves, so if you're lucky you can sneak past your opponent's defences and get in for a bunch of damage before overlaying into a Zeus. So now let's go over some of the basic combos you're aiming for in this deck. But first, if you're enjoying the video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe. So in this first hand we have our level 5 monster and then 5 Star Twilight. These are the 2 cards you absolutely always want to get to, so just use all of your draw power to try and get them. Start by summoning your red-haired Hasty Horse, and then use 5 Star Twilight in a different column to it, otherwise it just blows up. Then you get one of every one of the Kuriboh Brothers. Kuriboh tributes them all to summon a Kuribabylon, and then that brings them all back, but adds itself to your hand, so you've got an extra card. You then make a Masquerena, a Link Kuriboh, and then a Verti-Anaconda. That sends Red Eye's Fusion to get a Dragoon, and now during your opponent's turn you can either make a 3 material Appaloosa, or just something else a bit more reactive like a Unicorn. So that was the basic combo, but you can actually go even further if you also have Multiply in your hand. Start by summoning and then using 5 Star Twilight to get all of your Kuribes, and then again tribute them all to get an extra card in your hand. Kuribabylon brings them all back and adds itself to your hand, and then you can make 4 into a 4 material Appaloosa, before tributing your remaining Kuriboh to give yourself 5 entire tokens. Let's then make a Link Spider, a Link Kuriboh, and then an IP Masquerena, and use the 2 Link ones to make a Verti-Anaconda. Verti sends Red Eye's Fusion so you get a Dragoon, and then once again during your opponent's turn you can turn IP Masquerena into whatever you want, including an Avramax to help protect your other cards. Finally, this is an example of a hand that doesn't actually have to use 5 Star Twilight, but can still make a fairly good end board. You start with Fruit of Summoning Kuriboh to get a Kuriboh onto your field. Then you can use something like Left Arm Offering to banish your whole hand and get a Multiply. Use the Multiply to fill your entire board with tokens once more, and then with those tokens you can start linking. Make an IP Masquerena, a Link Kuriboh and a Link Spider, then make a Verti-Anaconda and bring back your Link Kuriboh. With Verti-Anaconda you make a Dragoon, and then once again during your opponent's turn you can turn the IP Masquerena and the other 2 Link monsters into basically anything you want. Just as a bonus, here's a fun, if somewhat unlikely board that you can make if you can use both 5 Star Twilight and Multiply. Start the same way as usual, summoning everything to your field, before making and then unmaking a Kuribabylon in order to get an extra card in your hand. Now turn all of your Kuriboh Brothers, except Kuriboh, into an Ensemble Robin. Now use Multiply to get your tokens, turning them into an IP Masquerena, a Link Spider, a Link Kuriboh, and then a Verti. Finally, make a Dragoon complete with its spare discard. Now, during your opponent's turn, you can make an Avramax using IP Masquerena and Verti, protecting your Ensemble Robin to ensure that it gets to use all 4 of its bouncers without being beaten over in battle first, while backing that up with Dragoon's Negate. So those are the kind of plays that you can make in a Kuriboh deck. Did you ever expect Kuribohs to be able to do anything? And will you be trying them out? Tell me in the comments down below. And while you're there, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching!